Grand Theft Auto 6. I want it, you want it, even your dog wants it. A year following the announcement trailer, there really hasn't been a right lot in the way of marketing for this game, and everybody is dying to find out more. Rockstar Games, however, are in no rush to tell us much of anything, and of course, people are losing their minds. I've been watching the internet descend into calamity for a few days now, not really knowing what to make of it. But I think it's safe to say if this is what I expected, then it's certainly what Rockstar expected too. So of course, to dial back real quick, all we have that's officially from Rockstar that's targeted at the consuming audience, the public, is Trailer 1. It's been viewed hundreds of millions of times. It is a highly anticipated game, it's safe to say, but that is now a year old and the game is penned for release next year. And considering how long it's been, it would seem GTA fans and other anticipating peoples seem to have this idea in their heads that Trailer 2 must be imminent. And in a general sense at least, perhaps even at most, you can see how they came to that sort of conclusion. Chiefly, Rockstar aren't stupid. If this game is to come out in 2025, they're going to need to ramp up marketing at some point. No product of its like can hope to maximise its anticipatory potential on a trailer and some key art alone. Even if that trailer broke the internet and could in theory sustain the marketing for the game if they just dropped it at some point next year and refused to elaborate further, it would still be a terrible business decision because it leaves so much on the table. With that in mind, you can safely assume we'll be hearing something sooner rather than later in the grand scheme of things, but provided that fall 2025 release window is intact, that could still be any time between now and May. However, as things stand, as of the morning hours of the 7th of December 2024, no second trailer, not even as much as some screenshots have manifested, despite countless theories from many intelligent people suggesting something interesting might be on the horizon. However, if Rockstar have proven to be anything in the past, it's somewhat unpredictable, and instead they've been marketing their December expansion for Grand Theft Auto Online, and are rather uncharacteristically active on social media, promoting holiday sales and all sorts, and people are just begging them for any scrap of Grand Theft Auto 6 information they can possibly get their hands on. But I've got a feeling Rockstar are probably enjoying that. Ultimately, it's free marketing. Rockstar don't have to spend a penny or lift a finger. The fanbase is carrying Grand Theft Auto 6's relevance, so regardless of whether or not the second trailer is any time in the near future, the title won't be losing any prominence. But by God, are people losing their fucking minds? And can you really blame them? From a year's worth of loony, overanalyzed theories, to dismissing a game we haven't seen much of anything from as woke because somebody spends far too much time spying on people on LinkedIn, all of that seems to have ramped up exponentially, in accordance with rapidly brewing anticipations over a second trailer, none of which has manifested into anything particularly worthwhile yet. But look, if you keep saying that Trailer 2's coming out tomorrow for long enough, eventually you might be right. By accident. That doesn't, however, mean whatever theory you happen to be touting that day has any basis. And though this is probably not how I'm managing to come across, I'm really not trying to shit on your fun. However, it's important that we don't get so carried away that we wind up being mad at a company for something they didn't promise in the first place. The whole premise of the moon theory, though debunked, was probably a good laugh. Analysing Lucia's prison cell window in Trailer 1, simply counting how many squares it has, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But as for rationale and logic behind why people might expect something to come soon, well, the game's only got so long before it's supposedly coming out, so you'd expect there to be some news at some point in the not too distant future, whether that's this month, next month, the month after that. Rockstar are going to cough up something eventually, even if it's not something that you'd want to hear. For instance, the gut-wrenching news of a delay. Hopefully that won't happen, but if it has to, it has to. But in the meantime, Rockstar are going to continue their mysterious approach because it clearly keeps people talking. As for why I'm talking today, well, it boils down to two things. First, I'm somewhat housebound with wiggly bum disease, or as I like to call it, the shits. And so at least this morning that I'm recording this video on, I have nothing better to do. But second, over the years I've developed a really strange habit of jinxing myself. Typically, if I dismiss something out of hand, something happens, so I'm perfectly happy to defenestrate my own credibility for your benefit. Not that I had any to begin with. But to further my point that Rockstar seems to thrive off of our inability to predict what they're trying to do, it's being reported left, right and centre that an ex-Rockstar developer named Mike York has a rather interesting perspective on this. In a video on his YouTube channel York Reacts, he gives his opinion on the GTA 6 conspiracy theories, He states that Rockstar are probably enjoying the commotion regarding nothing in particular with regards to their game, because like I said earlier, it's free marketing. Now, his weighing in isn't the huge news it seems to be made out to be, but they will frankly write an article about anything these days. But the point is sound and worth taking on board, and that is that it's because you don't know when Trailer 2 is coming that you talk so much about the game. So if it only shuts us up, why would they tell us when it's coming? It's not like announcing the announcement trailer, that Trailer 1, where the anticipation is so high just to see what this game is like, that even though you know it's coming, you're still going to spend some time speculating. That's been and gone. Trailer 2 isn't as grand an event, it never will be. So with that in mind, they'll let the fanbase run away with their own ideas, perhaps drop the second trailer out of nowhere, and then you instantly have something else regarding GTA 6 to talk about. This wouldn't be a sensible tactic for just any old game, but Rockstar as a company have this reputation of their releases being this big event that they can reliably guarantee solid sales and endless online discussion among fans until the heat death of the universe. And from that we can take a couple assumptions. Those at Rockstar Games are more than likely fully aware of the discussions going on online and the anticipation for a trailer for the game, let alone the game itself. And if the phase of the moon known as a waning gibbous wasn't an inside joke within the office already, it certainly is now. Anyhow, it would seem there are some credible reasons for why people would believe that Rockstar might be gearing up to drop a second trailer. For instance, they recently unpinned the GTA 6 Trailer 1 from their YouTube channel. It's unclear why they do that and replace it with nothing. It's not entirely impossible that they will just not put anything in its stead, but that appears to be the case for the time being. Granted, it's still there as a channel trailer if you aren't already subscribed, so maybe I'm just imagining it was pinned for subscribers as well. So it could mean something or it could mean nothing. The other thing is a little Easter egg in this piece of artwork for the Agents of Sabotage DLC for GTA Online, or a collectible from Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which happens to be the setting of GTA 6, makes an appearance. It could very well be an Easter egg for the sake of it more than a teaser of anything, and I'm inclined to believe that. But they're aware no matter what they do now, Grand Theft Auto 6 is somewhere in our minds when we think of Rockstar Games, and it's more solidarity, it's the same for them. It doesn't necessarily serve to indicate a trailer is imminent, but when compared to the usual programming of radio silence, you can understand why people latch on. Especially since it's now been over a year since Trailer 1 and Rockstar seem perfectly happy to keep quiet about what is, for better or worse, almost guaranteed to be the most anticipated game of all time. And even if that proves to be an exaggeration, it won't be far off. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that seems like an awfully strange red herring. So you can understand why people might search for meaning in it, even if that pursuit of meaning has led people to the very edges of sanity. For the most part, the craziness appears to be well-meaning jokes and otherwise just enjoying the fact that people are talking nonsense for most people. And I don't think many people are convinced that we actually know much of anything substantial. However, there will always be those who prey on the more impressionable, with AI fake leaks being incredibly common. There's even a full-blown fake Trailer 2. Do people have nothing better to do? That said, I did find a Trailer 2 rickroll, so I seized the opportunity and sent it to a friend with no elaboration. But no, people love tricking one another. It's kind of one of those innate human traits that have existed since the beginning of time. We just, for some reason, get a kick out of a good prank, and I'm no different. However, in a time where the internet is filled to the brim with AI-generated garbage, the tools and ability to trick people are more readily available than ever. So with that in mind, no matter how real something may look, you just don't know whether it is or not until you get official confirmation. And the same goes for any supposed screenshots or footage. After all, AI can generate both, and in failing that, there are many people willing to go to these great lengths to spoof things, and they do this for personal gain, whether that be the satisfaction of having fooled people, the prospect of gaining followers from those who can't differentiate between real and fake, or as is less common but more sinister, to promote scams. So be careful. Now, despite a week of theorising, one date after another that has turned out to not be the case with regards to this elusive Trailer 2, it would seem people aren't done with making suggestions for when that might be. One theory appears to be the Game Awards on the 13th of December, to which I say historically events really aren't Rockstar's style, but like I said, they do thrive on not being predictable, However, predictably in the past, they've never really shown face at events, at least not when it comes to marketing. I wouldn't go expecting that to change now, but the only way to be certain is to go the long way round and find out. And hey look, with it having been over a year since trailer 1 now, I'd imagine before terribly long, a trailer 2 will come along. I can't imagine us waiting another year for it, but hey, who's to know what happens next week or next month? It could very well be that the game's been internally delayed and we won't hear about it until God knows when, but I'd imagine clearer communication will be established at some point. And this time gap isn't uncharacteristic. The time difference between the release of the first Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer and the second was over a year. Granted, there were some screenshots in the meantime that we haven't got for Grand Theft Auto 6, so while ever so slightly infuriating, it isn't too irregular for Rockstar games. I don't use this comparison to say that it absolutely is coming soon, who am I to know that? But I am saying I'd honestly be a bit surprised if it wasn't, so maybe at least some of the insanity I've seen in recent days has been justified, but certainly not all of it. For instance, the topic of Grand Theft Auto 6 becoming woke. And I don't know about you, dear viewer, but when I hear the word woke, it's like the password that deactivates my brain. Cyberboy's made a couple of videos on this topic, or more accurately these recurring shenanigans, and I'd highly recommend you watch them, but also if you're just really looking forward to Grand Theft Auto 6, he's the guy to go to. He encapsulates my thoughts on the subject and more, and frankly saves me the headache. But look, to wrap this video up, we'll find out more about this game when we find out more. Knowing my luck, it may not be long after this video goes live. What the fuck is this? Thank you all for watching, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.